Hello, I am William Jamar Wright,
And I'm Hattie.
and this is our podcast, HattieJo. And on this episode, we have my very good friend, Charlie Crisp.
Yay, so she'll be joining us, and we can't wait to hear what she has to say.
So, today on Hattie Joe's podcast, we have my very, very good friend, Charlie Crisp. How are you doing, Charlie?
I am good. I am glad to be here and exceptionally excited to have an opportunity to wear my tiara.
There you go. Special people only.
A little tiara. How long have you had that tiara?
Since I was 10 years old. So it would be 20-something years. Yeah,
Okay.
about that time.
Nice. Well,
Yes,
we're happy to be in Charlie's world with Queen Charlie.
Yes. Kind of reminds me of the LSU stick crown.
Yes. Oh.
So you know what? Just a side note. I just found out about a month ago that I am now 1 degree of separation from the royal family. So
what?
Just, no.
So the crown is even more appropriate.
Yeah, basically it is. So just a little bit of background there.
Nice.
Perfect.
So we can all see the Demon Deacon Wake Forest decor in the background. And everybody may not know, but Charlie is the world's biggest Wake Forest fan. So how exactly did that come about? Like, how did your fandom and love for Wake Forest begin?
Well, I was 4 years old, and I saw.
It's a very formative time.
I make up my mind and I stick with it. I was 4 years old, and I saw Muggsy Bogues playing basketball at Wake Forest at the time. Coach at that time was Bob Stack, and the Deeks were terrible. And I love a lovable loser, and that was my team. And from the time I was 4, I told my mom at age 4 that I was going to Wake Forest. That's where I wanted to go, even though we were Methodist, and she's like, "You could get a scholarship to Duke." It's like, no, I want to go to Wake Forest.
Oh, you made the wrong decision. How could you not come to Duke?
Because did you not hear that riveting story? She loves
Wake.
Wake.
To be cool, okay? That's why. And so it just stuck.
Okay.
Was in the early '90s, Rodney Rogers, who's from Durham, and then mid '90s, Randolph Childress. He solidified himself in my heart forever when he hit that game-winning shot in the '95 ACC tournament against Chapel Hill in overtime. Yes. Also scored a record number of points in the ACC tournament, and then Tim Duncan. He came in and
the GOAT.
It was the big fundamental. I just had this love affair, and it is just it's grown ever since to me referring to Wake Forest as my first love and my longest love affair, because I know there are no other love affairs going on. So Wake Forest is it. And I'd like to show you guys this cool birdhouse that my friend gave me for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Cool.
Yes, I don't like birds, so it's not outside. It's here in the Wake Forest room, and
there you go.
Yeah, so that is
Perfect.
that's my Wake Forest story. Spent 4 great years there. Consider them 4 of the greatest of my life, and I ride or die with them. A lot of times there's death, but sometimes we ride.
Yes. So it's like you go to all of like the home football games. Like you travel to a lot of the away football games. Like you are like Wake Forest definitely has your heart.
It does. I always say that my car is a moving billboard for Wake Forest, and this room is my I guess my shrine to Wake Forest. But a lot of people want to go to tropical places. They want to go on these great excursions. And I'm like, no, I really need a reason to go somewhere. And Wake Forest football gives me a reason. So I always tell people if it wasn't for Wake Forest, I'd never get out of the Southeast.
There you go. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah, I'm excited. This year the Deeks play in New Orleans, which I've never been to Louisiana.
Nice.
So we open up at Tulane. We also play Florida State, which I am never excited about that road trip. It's like the worst road trip ever.
Tallahassee.
And then play Tallahassee. Yeah, there's no direct shot to Tallahassee. I always end up on a different route every time, and it takes like 10 hours to get there. It's just the worst. And then we play Louisville, which I love going to Louisville. I hate Louisville, but I love going to Louisville.
Well,
so, yeah.
Nice. Sounds like a busy fall you got there.
It is. I save most of my vacation days for the fall. And I tell people, look, if you want me, you better get me in the first 3 quarters, because that last quarter, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, all the travel.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, do you remember the first time we actually met?
Yes, it was at Amy and Brandon's wedding.
Yes, it was.
Yes, down in Duluth, Georgia.
Good old Georgia.
Yes, so I was working at Presbyterian College, and Brandon Sarber was one of my coworkers, and Brandon and I hadn't known each other that well, but I got invited to the wedding, just along with everybody else on the coaching staff. So I was like, oh, well, I'll ride on up to Duluth, Georgia. And it was a very nice wedding. And I remember, like, I saw you there, and I didn't know who you were. But, like,
like 5 people there, yes. You go ahead and see it.
And then Coach Harold Nichols, who was the head coach at the time, he was like, oh, like, you should go and talk to her. I was like, I don't know who she is. So I, like, just... So I randomly went up and talked to you. And, like, we had a pretty good conversation, I thought. And then all of a sudden, like, the next week, I received an email from you. I was like, oh. Like, and it kind of blossomed from there.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean, wait a minute?
I do not recall. Okay, there was some time in between there. I saw you again at a Presbyterian game, like that fall. And that's my emails. You don't make it sound like I was pressed. I mean, come on.
I'm not saying that you. I could have sworn it was the next week.
No. Because I remember thinking, you know what? Somebody said, hey, she's black. Go talk to her. Because
yes.
That's what happens. That's usually what happens. Anyway, I won't get into that whole scenario. But no, I saw him a little later at a Presbyterian game, and it happened to be like a week before Wake was playing Duke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Me being, a bit of a trash talker.
Just a little bit? Just a little bit?
Just a smidge. And the fact that Duke was one of the few teams that Wake had consistently beaten, I was like, oh, this is easy. I got this,
yeah.
So that's how I met him, and there's a story behind the Gladys Agnes as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So for those of you that do not know, Charlie calls me Gladys, and I call Charlie Agnes.
And he always misspells it.
Let's put him on the spot. How do you spell Agnes?
Agenus. Agnes. It's my special.
More mistakes than I thought there was going to be.
I was like, whoa, okay. Now we added you to it. Okay.
Yes.
That's new.
Yeah. He did spell it ageness or something for a long time, and I was like, dude, you can't do this because I write for a living, so I'm going to correct your text messages, and it's gonna be it's just. But yeah, so he used to go to bed at like 9, and I was like, dude, how old are you? Why are you going to bed like at 9? Do you eat dinner at 5 too, and take a 2:00 break for Jello?
Amelia.
And so I gave him the name Gladys.
Amelia.
And apparently he gave me the name Agnes because I go to bed late, but I get up super early. It's ridiculous. So, but yeah, that's how Gladys and Agnes came about.
Love it.
Little nicknames for each other.
Yes.
It's a beautiful story.
That's me. What else you want to know?
Well, how are your parents doing? Your mom and dad, they live in Virginia, correct?
Correct. They live in Virginia. I grew up in Eden, North Carolina, which is right on the border of Virginia. So we were always in Virginia. But they moved across the line about 15, 16 years ago. So my dad just retired for the second time.
Good for him.
Driving the truck. He's been a long-distance truck driver for as long as I can remember. And now he is going to drive a school bus.
Oh,
really?
Fun.
I don't know why he thinks he's gonna like that, but he said he's gonna do that. I'm like, you don't know, these kids are bad. Like, you can't be dragging people's kids off. There was a story this week about somebody dragging a 7-year-old off the bus, and everybody was all up in arms. I'm like, this is not 1965 where you can do that, and nobody's gonna be mad.
Yeah, everybody's gonna find about it the next hour.
Yes, and this man is not on social media, so he's not gonna know about it till the police show up. So he said he's gonna drive the bus. He's only got to work like 3 hours a day driving, and that's what he's gonna do. So
there you go.
Y'all pray for my mama, because now he's gonna be home with her every damn day. My mom is good. She has been officially retired now for about 5-6 years.
Okay.
But she does still play at church on pretty much every Sunday now, because one of the musicians. So that's what she does. I just talked to her yesterday. She's good. And talked to my dad. He was going out to cut the grass, which is, they have a lot of land, so it's an all-day event.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, an all-weekend event. So,
Nice.
but no, they're good. To be as ancient as they are, they're good.
Good. That's awesome.
And so, how many dogs do you have now? I know that you foster like pets.
So I have one now, only because the other one that I looked at last weekend got adopted, thankfully, because Lord knows I don't really need any more dogs. And my bank account does not need it either. I know you can relate to this. So I have one dog now who is, let me see if I can get him on camera. Hey, Deacon. Oh, crap. I don't know.
Of course he's named Deacon.
I don't know if you can see him or not, but Deacon. Okay, hold on. We'll get in the picture together. Hey, yeah, there he is.
Oh, there he is. What a good boy.
Deacon.
Deacon. Hi, Deacon.
Yes.
Hi.
My name's Deacon.
Hi.
So Deacon actually came with the name Deacon, which was
No way. Oh,
Hello?
are we losing you?
About 6 months before 4 months before I had adopted him, one of my rescue friends had messaged me and asked me was I interested in fostering him, and I said, it's October, I'm traveling a lot with football, so it's probably not a good time right now. And then in January, as I do many nights, I was looking at Pet Finder, and he showed up, and I was like, I've seen this dog before, I know this dog. And they had named him Deacon. So sure enough, I was like, let me just ask if he's still available, and he was. So I adopted him in January of last year.
Well, that's wonderful.
Nice.
It was meant to be. He was waiting for you.
He's a quirky dog, but he's good company. He loves me like I am the greatest thing ever. And when I lost Greta in April, it was good to have a dog here. Although I still have this urge for a old dog. I love old dogs, and so I keep looking, and I'll find one, and then I'm like, no, Charlie, it's really not a good thing to do because you just spent $300 on him, and so fortunately, I have not found one yet.
Yet being the operative word.
Yeah. Still looking on the market.
Yes, definitely on the market. So that's that. What else you guys want to know about me?
What else do you want to share?
Well, I had let's see. Well, like I said, I write for a living. I'm a communications manager at a financial services company that shall not be named because I would have to get approval to do this podcast. So, we're not going to name them, but I support a technology function at a financial services company. So I do a lot of writing, a lot of trying to keep people from sticking their foot in their mouths and being cognizant. I kind of have this penchant for fixing things. I can't fix myself, but anybody else's crisis, it's cool. I got it.
Yes, and you've done. I would say you've done a lot to help me fix some crises I've been in. Giving some world great advice.
Would you guys care to share some of these crises? I think this would make for excellent podcast material.
Oh God.
Well, it's a variety of things. From like relationship advice. I was once dating. Legal advice, yes.
Career advice.
Career, yeah, a little bit of career advice. I kind of like anytime I have like a dilemma or something, like Charlie is definitely one of the people that I go to like bounce things off, bounce ideas off, and like
get some good perspective from.
Yes.
I'll be honest with him and be like, now because you've been saying this for a year, 3 years now, so I'll be honest with you. I've been told I'm direct. I didn't know that about myself until a couple of years ago, but apparently I'm direct, I'm critical, and it's just part of my charm. What can I say?
There you go.
Either like it or you don't.
Yeah. I do work in communications for a living and been doing that for about 10, 11 years. Have lived in Charlotte for 12 years. Well, 12 years this time. I lived here 2004 to 2006 Sorry, 2000. No, crap. When did I live here? Anyway, I lived here during grad school. Okay. And then I moved back to Winston for 2 years, worked at the university, financial aid. And then I moved to Charlotte in 2006. And so I've been here 12 years, and I bought this house that you see around me.
Woohoo.
In 2008. God knows if I could do it over again, I would not. But
how come?
Being a homeowner is way overrated. Like, there's a lot of stuff you gotta spend money on. I used to have disposable income. I used to be at the mall like at least once every other week.
Man.
And yeah, I had good stuff. I had good purses. I was buying myself every time I got a raise. I buy myself a new Coach purse. Now every time I get a raise, I'm like, oh, what do I need to fix now?
Right. Let me pull out the list of things that need attention. What can I address now? Yeah.
Exactly. There's always yard work. There's HOA who wants to send you letters about stupid shit. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay.
There's air conditioner. This happened last year. My air conditioner started building up water in the pan that's up in the attic.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I tried to, rig it up a little bit so I wouldn't have to pay somebody to fix it for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then it came back again, so then I had to fix it, and that was a nice little move. No, and then about 3 weeks after it got fixed, something on the outside unit broke. So about $2,500 altogether last summer for the air conditioner.
Yeah, that stinks. Oh.
Yeah, and I had to fix my oven, and then I got a new microwave. It's always something. And so, people are like, oh, you're building equity. Oh, you can do this, you can do that. And I'm like, no, I really can't. I don't know what kind of equity y'all got, but I'm not getting anything out of this other than I can have the dog I want. So that's good, but otherwise, I'm not really all that sold on ownership.
That's an interesting perspective to hear, because I think you're right. Normally you hear people very much big proponents of home ownership. So it's refreshing to hear another perspective. So
I think if you have a family, it would make more sense than living in an apartment or a condo. Mm-hmm. But it's just me and the dog. I've got 1,500 square feet, but it's not 1,500 well-purposed square feet. I've got a dining room. I've never once eaten at that table. It's been there for 10 years. But I can't really do anything with that room because of the way the house was built and the way the rooms are structured. It's not open.
Right.
Yeah.
A tiny den with this oversized sofa, and it's just everything feels small. So if I had a different floor plan, maybe it would. I don't know. But yeah, home ownership is. I'm not a huge fan of it.
But at least there is a lot of benefits of not living in apartments and having your neighbors and loud music and stuff. I don't think you would do well with living in an apartment complex or
I lived in an apartment complex for 6 years, though. Different apartment complexes.
Yeah, but like just knowing your personality, I don't think you having close by neighbors would be a good situation.
It just wouldn't be
You know
as
what?
peaceful.
There was one time I did live next to people who had a baby, and that thing was always crying at like random hours. And you know, in hindsight, it was probably kind of a jackass thing to do, but I would beat on the wall like, "Hey, I can hear."
Yeah, a little bit of a jackass thing to do. It's a baby. The baby can't help it.
I know, but I was thinking, like, is there another room you can put the baby in so it's not right next to your neighbors? I mean, we all had in units, so I was like, you could put him on the other in unit so that the sound isn't coming through my wall. It was just, yeah. I mean, you're partially right, but when you live in a subdivision too, like I do, my neighbors are right next door, so it's not like I don't hear them, and they're loud. I mean. They're loud neighbors. What can I say? They're good neighbors. They're just loud.
It happens.
And they speak a lot of Spanish. Well, it depends on like if their in-laws are over, because the mother-in-law and the father-in-law don't speak English. So there's a lot of Spanish, and then it gets loud, and I'm like, well, if y'all gonna be this loud, I need you to speak English so that I can follow along, because I don't know Spanish. And they're always fixing something. Like right now, they're putting new tile in upstairs, so there's like cutting.
That's
and
loud,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I they've done a lot of work in my house, so I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's loud either way because we're so close together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, home ownership.
So, one little final thing to talk about, like. Can you talk a little bit?
That's exciting.
Yes, that is right. You do a bunch of runs, like in your.
So I'm particularly proud because I had surgery in January on my foot, and
no way. How are you doing?
Part of it had to do with plantar fasciitis and tarsal tunnel, which is a repetitive stress, and everybody's like, maybe you should not run.
Yeah, me. I was one of those people that said maybe you should not run. Like. It's okay to take a break and let things heal.
Yeah, okay. So,
It's Charlie's world, and we're just living in it.
Yes.
Like, get with the program. Come on.
But, so, this was like the thing, because previously when I had surgery to have my appendix removed, I didn't do all the healing that I was supposed to do, and then my body revolted, and then it's resulted in me probably, at least what we think, losing my hair. I developed alopecia. So I did all the healing that they said, no doing this. You can't drive for 4 weeks. You can't put weight on it. I did all that stuff. I went to physical therapy, all because this is my favorite weekend of the year. I love Cooper River Bridge Run. So I was super excited to do it. I was a little bit ambitious though, because I thought I was gonna run the first mile, walk 2 and 3 because it's uphill, and then run 4, and then walk 5, and then run 6 into the finish line. Here's the thing, though. I haven't run since January. So I'm not really conditioned. I mean, actually, December. So I'm not really conditioned to run.
Yeah.
After mile 1, I was like, ooh, you're going to have to revise the strategy, Charlie. This is not going to work. And then at mile 4, my other foot started trying to revolt against me, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just try and finish it. Let's just try to finish before
get to the home stretch.
Yes.
Yeah, so I did it, but Cooper River Bridge is great. I love that. So,
well, congratulations on making it through what sounds like the hardest race ever, given those conditions. That is awesome. Good for you.
Well, maybe now you'll actually like rest and heal, and then like work your way up. Like typically, people work their way up to running
12K.
Yeah, a 12K. Like you don't just. Like I just had surgery. I'm gonna rest a while. Now run a 12K. It's not how this is supposed to work.
It wasn't my best idea. The doctor was like, "You can probably walk it, but you can't run it." And I was like, "Oh, all right. Well, we'll see." And that's what we saw. But no, I'm not a fast runner at all. Like my mile pace is pretty sad. But it's just being out there with like 30,000 other people. That adrenaline is what caused me to say, yeah, I can run this. No, I couldn't.
So what other races have you done before?
I only do 5Ks and 10Ks because I have a car, so I don't need to drive any further than, I don't need to run any further than 6 miles. But I've done the Peachtree Road Race in Atlanta, which is
cool.
4th of July each year. Yeah, I don't like it, but I like to do it. Don't ask me. There's no logic in it. I don't like to run at all, actually, but I do it. Love paper relationship.
I fully understand.
Yeah. And once you do it, it's kind of addictive, and you're like, well, you just gotta keep doing it.
Gotta keep doing it, yeah.
No, you can stop.
No.
Like, there's another option here. You can stop.
I got the little runner sticker on the back of my car. I'm committed. Like, I got sneaker charms. I got shirts and gear. I'm committed.
She's invested.
But the thing about the Peachtree is, the last 2 years that I did it, the heat advisory had been raised to red because it's the 4th of July in Atlanta. So
yeah, yikes.
Blazing hot. And it gets to the point where they open up like fire hydrants and people run through that water. And then there's always this Catholic priest right around like mile 2 who's sprinkling people with holy water. And I am not Catholic, but I am so happy to see him every year. I'm like, woo! Bless me, please bless me.
Yeah.
Because it's hot. So those are the only 10Ks that I do, but 5Ks, there are a couple that I do each year, and it's one of those things. When I was younger, I was the slow fat kid, and I am determined to prove I am no longer the slow fat kid. And my therapist is like, I don't think you need to prove that anymore. I was like, nope, there are still people that think I'm a slow fat kid. I don't know where they are now, but I'm going to still prove to them that I am a slow fat kid.
They were wrong. You were right.
Yeah.
Well, good for you for doing what you want to do and proving the haters wrong. So that's awesome.
There you go. Haters are my motivators. I actually hate that saying, but I felt like it was appropriate there.
All right. Well, that is, we're going to bring our session to an end. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, you should. It was
hope
wonderful.
all is well, and the weather down there in Charlotte is keeping you warm.
And hopefully we'll see you at least for the Duke Wake game.
Yes, we come to Durham again. Yeah, we come back to Durham this year. Last game of the season, so I'll be there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then at some point, I'm sure I'll be coming back because this summer I'll be driving back and forth. So we'll grab lunch or dinner soon.
Big Duncan!
All right, Charlie. Well, it was good to see you. You take care. Have a good rest of your Sunday.
Thanks again for spending some time with us. We enjoyed it.
Happy Sunday. You guys have a good week.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Well, see you guys next month. This is our podcast, HattieJo.
And that is what we are doing. Thanks, guys.
Deuces.